Narcissistic individuals can be some of the most self-centered, arrogant, self-entitled people that you could ever meet, and due to their lack of empathy, they have very little interest in you. The only time they're interested in you is if they're looking to gather that data from you so that they can use it against you in order to exploit you so that they can get their needs met by you. And there are several indications when you're having communication with a narcissistic person that you are indeed dealing with somebody who has narcissistic traits or narcissistic tendencies. Now, we are all capable of these behaviours now and again when we've got something on our mind, when something negative is happening within our lives. We can all get to that point where we are preoccupied with events that are happening within our lives. We are preoccupied with creating a vision of our future. We are preoccupied with our children, preoccupied with our work. We can all have those moments, but that's what it is, a moment. With a narcissistic individual, it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. It's who they are. It's quite difficult to recognise because they will be very interested in you when they want something from you. However, when they haven't got a need for you, they're no longer interested in you. And as we can all get busy in our lives and not communicate with someone, with a childhood friend for a while, and then suddenly get in touch, this happens. However, you don't usually suddenly get in touch because you want something from them. You get in touch, hey, long time no see, how are you? Shall we meet up? With a narcissist, it's when they want something from the other person. So when you're having a conversation with a narcissistic individual, what you'll often notice is they are more than happy to talk about themselves, their family, their children, whatever's going off that is positive within their life. Yet as soon as you try to instigate that two-way communication with them, they switch off. As soon as you start talking, they switch off, they zone out, they become ignorant, they become preoccupied in something else, and you sense that they are not listening to you. You can try talking louder, or you can just shut up. And when you do, they take this break in your communication as reason for them to continue telling all to you in those grandiose ways of how amazing they are, or those vulnerable ways of how much they're suffering in life. When it comes to a narcissistic individual, they will ask you how your day's been, not because they want to know, but so that they can quickly revert the topic of conversation onto how their day's been. They'll ask you where you're going on holiday so they can quickly talk about the holiday that they have just booked, and they will go on and on and on and on and on about it if they're not willing to listen to you. They will manipulate favours. A narcissistic individual will ask for a favour from you. They will ask you if you're available to do something for them. And then when you do it for them, in that communication, they managed to twist it how they were giving you the opportunity. They were doing a favour for you. They were helping you out. So instead of them acknowledging you being helpful to them, instead of them being grateful, instead of them showing thanks, they expect you to be eternally grateful to them for them asking you to do a favour for them. They expect you to thank them. They want to make out that they're the one who is doing you the favour because they don't believe they need the help from anybody. They just go all out to manipulate people to get their needs met. When it comes to sharing any form of news with a narcissistic individual, be it some form of good news, an achievement, a birth of a child, a wedding, whatever it is, a new job, when you come to share your good news with a narcissistic individual, they will turn it on to how they've done far better. They will dismiss, invalidate, take the credit, claim how you couldn't have done something without them. Yet they will always find a way to one-up you because they're envious of others and they don't appreciate people seemingly one-upping them. Share bad news with a narcissist, loss of a job, loss of a loved one. They've always suffered far worse. It's nothing compared to what they've been through. You can sit and watch something horrific on television that's happening and they can just turn around and say, oh good, now they know what it feels like. Whereas people with empathy don't want people to suffer in the same manner that they have. Narcissistic individuals have that sadism to them. Some of them get the pleasure out of other people's pain, other people's suffering. And if a narcissistic individual has lost a loved one, like most people have, they use that as an excuse for their unreasonable and toxic behaviour every single anniversary, so that you feel compelled to feel sorry for them and put up with more of their horrific treatment towards you. They are some of the most ignorant people you could ever meet. They go on and on and on about how amazing they are and how amazing their children are and all the things they've done in the world. And again, just like that, happy to talk about themselves. As soon as you try to open up a two-way conversation, they switch off. They minimalise. They downplay. They act naive to a situation. You can be stood having a conversation with them and they see what they perceive to be someone more important in the room and they just cut you off and disappear over to the next person. They talk over you, and once they've finished saying what they need to say, they move on to somebody else. They are some of the most ignorant people you could ever meet, unless they're love bombing you or idolizing you. So they're trying to gather that information from you so that they can mirror you and sell you an illusion of who they are based on who you would like them to be. So that we kind of care more about their potential than who they actually are as a person, because they're deceiving us. They want to sell that illusion of perfection, which is why they'll often go all out to shift the blame. They're incredibly forgetful. They'll promise to meet you, they'll promise to do something with you. Now, we can all make plans and something crops up and then you usually let the other person know, I'm ever so sorry, but this has happened. And at some point, you come good on your word. With a narcissist, it's, oh, I forgot. Oh, I'm busy. Unless it suits them, they're not interested. Yet with their extreme forgetfulness, they will promise to do something for you so that they can look good, or future faking, promise to do something in your future so that they can get their needs met in the present. And then once their needs have been met, they're no longer interested. So they promise to do something for you. And then when you naturally ask them about this, it's normal to ask somebody when they've promised something, hey, what about this? And they turn around and say, I never said that. You forgot to remind me. If you dare to remind them, they accuse you of treating them like a child, and they don't need you to remind them. There's no winning with narcissistic individuals. They're always pushing for more. No matter how much you give to them, they always want more. Nothing is ever enough. They expect you to give up everything, and then they will up and leave you with nothing. They can't handle any form of constructive feedback. Not many people like criticism. However, most people can accept advice from others, often to the detriment of ourselves when we're accepting the narcissist sabotage that is all wrapped up, gift wrapped as constructive feedback, when it's actually to hinder us. And then when it does hinder us, they stand there and play the victim of, I was only trying to help you, so that you question yourself and not their behaviour. However, a narcissistic individual can happily dish out their criticism. They can't take any of it back, People can have that friendly banter. There's nothing wrong with a bit of friendly banter. People can have those jokes to sort of lighten the mood, or when they're feeling a bit insecure, to try and sort of ease themselves into a situation. With a narcissist, it's persistent. They're constantly putting other people down. They're humiliating people, shaming people, blaming people, failing to take responsibility for themselves. If anyone dare to call them out on their behaviour, they get offended. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't that bad. You made them do it. They're seeking that excessive validation. They believe that they are superior. They believe that they're the most important person in the room, and they want you to believe that too. They're always seeking that excessive validation. Any behaviours you notice of a narcissistic individual during a conversation, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers, and your continued support with the channel is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissist Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. Those will be in the description also if you'd like to go and check them out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.